Hello, nerds around the world. Welcome to another episode of the Nerds United is One podcast. And I'm CML, your host for tonight. And of course, we'll be doing episode 66 of our show. We'll be counting down the top 10 best sidekicks in all cinema. And to help me do that, I have two great guys. And of course, you've seen them on the show frequently. Of course, they've become part of the Nerds United is One family. Of course, we have Mike Gill from Geek Style Podcast. Mike, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Glad to be back. Always be glad to be here. Can't wait to count down my sidekick list.
And also we also have the unflappable Colton Hunt. Colton, what's going on, man?
Yeah, not much. Just counting down the days until Civil War comes out. Really looking forward to that movie.
Yes, I mean we have of course. Who in the geek community isn't anticipating that. Isn't anticipating that movie,
Team Iron Man.
Team Iron Man. Okay,
Team Cap.
I'm just kidding, fellas. Of course.
Team Good Movie. That's what I want. A good film.
Oh yeah.
Well, who can argue? Who can argue with that? I mean, jeez. All right, we're ready to start the show.
Team Thor.
He's nowhere in this movie. Yeah, he's up.
Yeah, he and the Hulk are just chilling up in Asgard, probably.
I mean, he's probably fighting Bill Stein up in Asgard or something like that. Or Team Hulk. Oh wait, he's not in this movie as well.
Right.
All right, but yeah, going on to our main topic of the show. Our main topic tonight is our top 10 favorite movie sidekicks. And to me, it's not always the worst thing to play. It's not the worst thing to play second banana, is it? I guess not. I mean, some movie. We'll be with movie sidekicks. I mean, they don't have to be. They don't have to be. Like the wingman, the hero. They can have a very distinct personality override to the main character, definitely. And these are and what we have. Hopefully, we have on our list. The best examples of these characters otherwise. So I'm going to start with myself, and we'll go from number 10 to number 1. In terms of who we think are the best out of these great movie characters. And like I said, we'll start off with myself. I'm going from number 10 to number 1. Number 10 for me is Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. Groot. I am Groot. Yes, and of course, voiced by the ever charismatic Vin Diesel. Of course, when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. I mean, with the first few trailers of the Guardians of the Galaxy came out, yeah, people were like, "This is quite a quirky premise." You have this human being. You have this green-skinned alien woman. Hulking humanoid alien, a talking raccoon, and of course, one of the most, I'm sure to perplex everyone's mind, one of the most interesting, was a giant tree-like creature, who could, the whole premise of Guardians of the Galaxy could have, faltered, to most definitely, but somehow James Gunn, he managed to, and of course Mike has the action figure group. He managed to pull off a miracle with that whole thing. Of course, one of the standouts was this character, this hulking tree-like creature. Who's has this incredible brawn to him, but has this great heart to him. He does seem like an unflappable sidekick. And he's quite a compliment to Rocket Raccoon's irascibility. Of course, knowing the quirkiness of that character, but it's what makes Groot stand out is his loyalty and his dedication to his friends, definitely throughout the movie. And Groot definitely you can't help but love this character. This giant character with an equally giant heart. And who that doesn't. I mean, and especially in that moment when they're on Rona's ship when he sacrifices himself, you can't help but get the feels for that. Definitely.
We are Groot.
I mean, it's just like. It's just a scene that really, really touches you, and of course, one of the best moments of that character. He's definitely, it's just overall, like I said, what's not to love about this character? Definitely a great movie, not only a great movie sidekick, but a great movie character in its own right. Definitely. So, for me, Groot, number 10 on my list. All right, Mike, what is
you gotta give Vin Diesel up. Sorry, you got. That's what I'm gonna say. You really gotta give Vin Diesel his props. I mean, this is a character that he easily could have just phoned in, but from what I've read, he really committed himself to the role. He finding like different ways to say the line "I am Groot" rather than them just having him say it once and then just playing it on a loop whenever anytime the character spoke.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
I am Groot. Now, I would have put Groot on my list, but I saw him more as a supporting character. I can see how he would be. He could be a sound. He's kind of like in that gray area though. But my number 10 is from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Short Round. No time for love, Dr. Jones. I mean, he's not the best character in the best. It's not the best movie either for Indiana Jones, but he is far better than the female lead. And I mean, he does do does do some helpful things to help out Indiana. I mean, in fact, when he's under the control of Mola Ram, he actually manages to snap him out of it. So, I mean, yeah, he's not the best character around there, but as far as the sidekick goes, he's very effective, and he's a fun guy. He's a fun guy to hang around with, I think.
Okay, great. I mean, great choice. Yeah, great choice. All right, Colton, what is number 10 on your list?
From Disney's Aladdin, Abu. First of all, he produces probably one of the funniest scenes in any Disney movie. He's got a sword! You idiots! We've all got swords! I think one thing I love about Abu, though, is that he's almost kind of a spoof on the kid appeal characters from previous Disney movies, in that even though he's like a cute little monkey, he's also unapologetically greedy. And like that scene where he tries to steal that jewel from the amulet, even though the Cave of Wonders is like, touch nothing but the lamp. And I mean, just the look in Abu's face, it was utterly hilarious, among other things. But I also like how, despite that pretty big character flaw, he also is very loyal to Aladdin. He gets a pretty better deal than most Disney sidekicks do, I think, and that he's not a butt monkey or anything like that. And even though he is a monkey, but not a butt monkey. You know what I mean? And he also does something about Abu is just seeing just a small monkey pulling off some of the things he does is pretty badass. Like in Aladdin and the King of Thieves, when a bunch of the thieves come at him, Abu just grabs a sword and tosses it at a chandelier casually, and then bam, it drops on top of them. That was pretty hilarious, among other things. So yeah, Abu, number 10 on my list.
Okay, all right, solid choice, definitely. I wasn't sure how to put Abu on my list. It wasn't going to be, but he's a hilarious character, but I had to make room for other choices. Yeah, I had, he definitely he is entertaining to watch, an entertaining character to watch. But I thought I had better choices. But he is a great character nonetheless. All right, going on to number 9 on my list is Cameron Fry from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Fry.
Good one.
At times I think Cameron is almost more of a main protagonist than Ferris is, I guess you could say.
I mean, he is definitely the polar opposite to Ferris Bueller's often cool, more relaxed persona. Cameron is nervous, pessimistic, and he's often, I would say, surly. Yeah, he has, he pretty much is the opposite of Ferris, definitely. But he has some of the funniest moments in the whole movie, definitely. Especially when they're trying to get Ferris's girlfriend out of school. He's like, "Really? This is George Peterson. I don't want my donut on there at 2:00 this afternoon." It's like, "Why don't you kiss my big fat white behind?" It's like, "Ferris Bueller's on the line too." It's like, and Cameron and George, as George Peterson proceeds to just give it to him, it's like, "I hope you are for Christ. I hope you're sorry for Christ's sake." He's like, "I'm sorry, so it's called me, sir. God damn it."
But let's not forget about Cameron. He's so tight, you stick a coal up his ass, he'll turn into a diamond.
You really gotta give his actor his props. I mean, Cameron's a character that could have easily been just a boring killjoy, but I mean, he just like you said, he just portrays Cameron's surliness of the world around him so perfectly that you just want to reach out and give the guy a hug. Especially when Ferris is like, give me one good reason why we shouldn't get married, and then he's like, I'll give you two good reasons. My mother and my father, they're married and they hate each other.
But yeah, he kind of, he does. I mean, yeah, you can say he kind of needs. I mean, Ferris kind of needs him because whereas Cortland whereas Cameron's really reasonable and kind of sensible, and also equally as he is insecure and very doubting, I mean, you kind of need characters like that. And Alan Ruck just played, his rather deadpan performance, he just breathes life into him. You just can't see another actor. And he plays him brilliantly. The scenes with Matthew Broderick they're just gold. How they're just a wonderful chemistry together. He is really the perfect contrast to Ferris's, ever magnetic personality. But he has some, definite, admirable character traits in his own doubt. I mean, in his own right, most certainly. So, Cameron Fry, number 9 on my list. All right, Mike, what's number 9 on your list?
All right, my number 9, I did a quick switch up at the last minute because Colton inspired me. My number 9 is Carpet from Aladdin. Abu is the quintessential sidekick, but the one that does more good for Aladdin is Carpet. I mean, Carpet saves him from the Cave of Wonder. He helps him romance the princess, and he helps save him from when he was banished to the ends of the earth. So, I mean, that's a sidekick that's batting 1,000 right there. One thing you learned from there: never go anywhere without a flying sidekick, a flying carpet.
Good one. I also love how Carpet is almost kind of a silent snarker at times, and like when I don't know, it's like even though he doesn't have a face, the animation perfectly conveys just how his whatever he's thinking and feeling and what have you.
Yeah, you don't need to have any voice or lines for Carpet. It just his mannerisms through the animation just shows up very well.
Yeah. That's just to say he's not. He's a character. I don't think that gets him much. He's not as much. He doesn't get featured often in the spotlight. The other two, like Aladdin, the other three, like Aladdin, Genie, and Abu. Yeah, like you said, Mike, his mannerisms are just dynamite. It's just like the animators really gave this character a personality without question. All right, Colton, what is number 9 on your list?
Number 9 on my list is Sebastian from Disney's The Little Mermaid. First, I gotta say that Sebastian is probably the world's greatest wingman ever. I mean, in one instance, he manages to ring up just a he invents Kiss the Girl on the fly, gets all the animals around him to join him, no questions asked, and then it has Ariel and Eric almost kissing only for it to be followed at the end by Flotsam and Jetsam, those cock blockers. But yeah, that was That's like probably one of my favorite Disney moments. Is just the way Sebastian is like, "Oh, great, I'm surrounded by amateurs," and he's like, "Wants to be done right, you gotta do it yourself." And he's like, "First, we gotta create the mood." But aside from that, also something else I like about Sebastian is that despite the constant abuse he winds up suffering by Ariel's unintentional hands, he does get to see that she actually does admire and depend on the guy at times. I mean, he saves her from drowning, and he also is like realizes that despite the fact that he shouldn't really be helping her out with the human world, trying to romance Eric and everything, he also realizes that it's what she wants, and right now things aren't going so well with her dad, so he wants her to be happy and all that jazz. And compare him, I mean, I've seen him compared to Zazu at times, but I feel like the main difference between them is that Zazu is pretty much being abused from start to finish, whereas Sebastian actually does get a couple of wins in The Little Mermaid, among other things. And also that scene between him and that crazy chef and the Les Poissons song, song was utterly hilarious.
Les Poissons.
Les Poissons. With a cleaver, I hacked them in two. I pull out what's inside, then I serve it up fried, because I love the fishes, don't you?
Yeah, so another big character I'm going to put on the list. I mean, Sebastian is, I think he is a hilarious character. Like I said, I thought there are some better choices, but yeah, like I said, he's definitely one of the best, without a doubt. Absolutely. All right, going on to number 8 for me is Mr. Spock from the Star Trek franchise. Most certainly, indeed. Mr. Spock, who's played by Leonard Nimoy throughout, the first, 6 movies of the series, and now he was played, and of course, he went back to play an older version, and the reboot that J.J. Abrams did in 2009, of course, the younger version played by Zachary Quinto. Spock is definitely one of the most iconic, characters in TV and movie history, without question. Like I say, he's the perfect polar opposite to James T. Kirk's rather brash and rather boisterous personality. He's the cool, reasonable, logical Vulcan. Who's the anchor to Kirk. He's one to make anchors to Kirk in his made decisions. Especially without question. Especially, and the character's given a lot of standout moments, especially in that. Of course, can't forget that scene in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, where he sacrifices his life, for the entire crew. His own Kobayashi Maru. He's like, of course, and it does, pull the heartstrings a little when you see that, at the side, if you see Kirk and Spock in the episode size, the glass, in the engine room, he's like to him, it's like, I've been, and always shall be your friend, Yeah, touching moment, without question.
Not bad for a character that's not supposed to really be big on emotions.
Definitely ironic, most certainly, but he's played definitely by Zachary Quinto in the new movies, most certainly, Especially, I think, of course, and one of my favorite Spock moments, it's in many great Spock moments. It's in Voyage Home. And he's trying to swim, trying to communicate with the whales. It's like he's trying to get out of this. So it's like and the marine biologist is like, "What are you trying to do?" And there, it's like, "Tell me the hell to communicate."
I think my favorite Spock moment might also be in the Voyage Home, where Spock is trying to make his calculations on how they can get back, and then McCoy tells him to make his best guess, and he's like, "Guessing is not my nature, Doctor." And then McCoy just gives him a very long, big smile because he's like, McCoy obviously knows that they're going to be screwed if Spock messes up, but the fact that he's actually witnessing Spock making a guess is going to make it all worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's just like so it's the same with the scene at the institute. It's like I want you guys out here right now. So it's like Kirk's like, we're trying to help. It's like and the woman's like, the hell you were. It's like, your friend was missing. I'm like, taking my whales. He's like, they like you very much, but they're not the hell your whales. It's like, supposed to be it's like, the hell they did. yeah, but that was a terrific moment without question. So Mr. Spock, number 8 on my list in top 10 movie sidekicks. Okay, Mike, what is number 8 on your list?
All right, my number 8 is Wilson from Castaway.
Wilson.
I mean, it goes a lot towards the movie that they can make a volleyball with a crude face on it into a character that you love, and eventually you will shed tears over a friggin' volleyball.
In an animated object, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you hear that, and you're like, no way. And then you watch the movie, you're like, Wilson. Oh, I mean, tug at the heartstrings right there. But I mean, thematically, you want that character there because otherwise, it's just Tom Hanks throughout the entire movie, not all alone. And you want to have something there for him to communicate with something for him to have his scenes with, even if it's just an inanimate volleyball with a face on it. But it does provide that kind of counterpoint, and I just the emotion that he is able to impart on it makes it actually a really great sidekick and a really valuable character in that movie. So that's why Wilson is my number 8.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 8 on your list?
Number 8 on my list is Little John from Disney's Robin Hood. Yep, another Disney. But compared to most Disney sidekicks, though, he isn't there to suffer at the main character's hands. In fact, he's more or less on Robin's level, and he might even be more badass than he is. I mean, not only does he threaten to stab Prince John in the back, but he pretty much took on several guards single-handedly like it was nothing. And he's overall a pretty fun character. I think he shows the appeal in playing a sidekick, I think, Yeah, that's all I really have to say on Little John. Character I like shows that sidekicks don't have to just be the comedic bug monkey. They can really get in on the action at times.
The character Little John, he is like a great sidekick in that Disney movie. Of course, if y'all seen the Errol Flynn version, which is from like many decades ago, like almost 8 decades ago. I often feel the character of Little John isn't really, glanced on a whole lot, in that movie. And in the other versions of it, I think they have yet to create a version of this character, where he's truly, he gets the spotlight with Robin Hood. It's just like, they haven't been a lot of good versions in the past. Hopefully, yeah, but he is a good sidekick without question. I just want there to be a version where he gets his due, where he gets a lot, and just as much attention, if not more so, than Robin Hood does, definitely. All right, going on to number 7 on my list is Trinity from the Matrix trilogy.
Dodge this.
Yeah, Trinity. Despite the Matrix trilogy's reputation being kind of soured in recent years, it's still people still love the first. People like the first film, but the other two, there's not much you can say about them. This is why they're not as universally lauded as the first film, but yeah, the great thing about those films was this character played by Carrie-Anne Moss. She definitely, is the perfect companion to the Keanu Reeves character. Of course, she is definitely one of the best female sidekicks in the movie, and I would feel one of the most underrated in some instances because she is very strong and very loyal and very devoted to Neo and the crew that never Nebuchadnezzar, and definitely, she could have been just like a one-dimensional supporting character, but they gave her a bit of a layering, and they gave her a person. I think that Carrie-Anne Moss gave her a personality that was true. You didn't expect, to be drawn towards in these movies, without question. She kicks ass definitely in the use of computers, and of course, guns, other firearms, of course, with knows how to operate, aircraft vehicles, stuff like that. And of course, that great moment in the beginning of the first Mercy's movie when she's surrounded by the cops, she has to, she leaps up in the air, kicks the cop's ass. It's like, this is like, yeah, that cements how badass this character is, without question. So Trinity for me is number 7 on my list. All right, Mike, what'd you give us number 7 on your list?
All right, my number 7 is from the films Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh boy.
I mean, Jason Yu and Kevin Smith are just the dynamic duo of sidekicks. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, they were obviously the main characters, but in all the ones, they were sidekicks, and I think that's where they really best fit because, Jay was just there to throw his mouth off and just be inconvenience for pretty much everyone, but Silent Bob, when he spoke, you knew you wanted to listen, and because it was gonna switch, it was gonna kind of lead to the climax of the movie. It was gonna kind of kickstart what is the big epiphany for the main character, and I think, so Silent Bob is great like that, and Jay's just always fun to watch. Whether he's making crude remarks towards various characters, or making crude remarks towards Silent Bob, or selling pot to whoever. He just hearing him rattle his mouth off is just always fun to watch. So yeah, my number 7 is Jay and Silent Bob.
All right, cool pick. I still haven't seen more. I've only seen Dogma and part of
Oh, I forgot Dogma. Sorry.
Huh?
I forgot to include Dogma on that list, but there are definitely sidekicks from that one as well. But there are larger roles in that one. But
right, and I've always seen part of Clerks. I still need to see more Clerks. I still need to see the whole thing. But yeah, but yeah, the great pick, definitely. Who made me love Kevin Smith, by the way, definitely. All right, Colton, what is number 7 on your list?
Okay, number 7 on my list is from Deadpool, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Okay, I know she's more Colossus. She's Colossus' sidekick and not Deadpool's, but she's still a sidekick, okay, so it counts. And what I love about this character is the fact that, she's acts like your stereotypical teenage girl. I know that Deadpool criticizes that, but I think that's the beauty of the character. Every other teenager in the X-Men series has some sort of devastating emotional baggage, but she's just a normal teen that straight up doesn't give a crap about anything and is not intimidated by the daily dangers that she faces. She casually mentions that the X-Mansion has been blown up more than once, or was it the Jet? Yeah, it was the mansion that's been blown up more than once, and when she's faced by a bunch of gun-toting mercenaries, she just makes a tweet about it and then jumps into action. That was pretty badass. More times than not, the Kid and Peele character or whatever will get captured and have to be rescued or something, or will be completely at odds with the main characters and won't do much. But while she was kind of at odds with Deadpool, she still contributed at the end. The way she just lets Angel just have it was pretty. After she sucker punched Colossus was one of the most badass moments in the movie. And then she reveals that she's wearing yellow spandex, so I'm like, yes, an X-Men in yellow spandex, finally. Okay, they were wearing yellow spandex in X-Men First Class, but that was actually more for tactical reasons. And here, she was wearing yellow spandex because, that's what the X-Men wear. So, yeah.
Don't you mean Sinead O'Connor?
True.
No, that's what Deadpool calls her, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah. I forgot. Also, that is the coolest name ever.
Yes, it is.
I'm saying it again. Negasonic Teenage Warhead, coolest name ever. So, yeah, she's number 7 on my list.
Right.
Shows that even if you're just a kid or whatever, you can still be a cool character nevertheless.
All right, great. All right, great choice. Certainly, definitely. All right, going on to number 6. Number 6 for me is Samwise Gamgee from the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I really wanted to put him on this list, but I'm like, I feel like he was too badass and had too much character to be considered a sidekick, I guess you could say, even though he technically is, but
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you!
Definitely one of the great highlights of this whole trilogy was the character Samwise Gamgee played to a T by Sean Astin. He is definitely the definition of sidekick, the loyal companion of the hero who trumps it through the odds. He stays with Frodo through thick and thin. Definitely, he is a gardener, but there is a noble quality and there's a kind of bravery to Sam. That just makes him all the more admirable. Definitely.
Definitely.
Yes, he is. He definitely carries Frodo through the dark times. That especially when the corrupting influence of the ring nearly consumes him, he's really there to save Frodo. You gotta step back and Frodo. You gotta not have this thing have such a hold of you. They've definitely gone through some challenges, even though especially with the character Gollum, who threatens to tear this friendship apart. Definitely, they always seem to find a way to make it through. Especially and he has some great moments. Especially in that scene in the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. Where Frodo seems disillusioned at this point when in the quest. And it's like, so what's it worth fighting for? All this chaos. He provides the greatest, probably one of the best monologues, without question, in movie history, without question. So just why do we do this? Why are we fighting for this? Because why do we fight for all this? It's like because there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. And that's definitely one of the definite highlights of this character without question, and one of the best highlights throughout this whole movies. He is definitely a dependable companion. And he is very much a definite hero in his own right. Definitely one of the best without question. Samwise Gamgee is number 6 on my list. Okay, Mike, what is number 6 on your list?
All right, my number 6 is from the Mission Impossible series, Benji, played by Simon Pegg.
Right.
He's not the most action-oriented character. In fact, when he does get into action situations, he's usually far over his head, like in Rogue Nation when they were doing that car chase and he was in the passenger seat. He was not comfortable at all, but Ethan Hunt knows that when the chips are down, he knows he can count on Benji to pull in some technical doodads, technical know-how, or to just be there for support. He hasn't been in. I don't think he was in one. I know he wasn't in 1. I don't think he was in 2.
I think he was in 3.
He was in 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
And he has been a strong and pretty invaluable character in all 3 movies. So
I think he's one of the few recurring characters in the franchise, actually.
Yeah. They're getting more and more recurring characters. Like I think Jeremy Renner's character is recurring. And of course, there's what's his name?
Bing.
Yeah, Ving Rhames. Thank you. Yeah, he's definitely a supporting character, but I think his role in the last few movies was really kind of minimalized, whereas Simon Pegg's character, he's been a pretty steadfast major supporting character throughout. So he's definitely my favorite sidekick from those movies.
Oh yeah, definitely. I enjoy the character as well. But he does have some bit moments of comic relief. I think.
Yeah,
definitely. He's one of the best things to happen to those movies.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Colton. What is number 6 on your list?
Number 6 on my list is Luis from Ant-Man. Now, this is a character that could have easily been a total disaster, but Michael Pena really pulled through with the guy. From what I've heard, he actually had to say it a lot of Luis's lines, and it paid off. He's a thief and all that jazz, but he's also a good man. Also, like when they tried to do their first rap, when they tried to steal the rob Hank Pym's vault and everything, when they discovered that there was nothing there, he actually gives a legitimate apology to Scott because, he knew that Scott needed the money, obviously, among other things. And I also liked how Louise wasn't like a it felt like Luis could have easily been a character that could have just been very incompetent or suffered a lot, or could have just suffered a lot of bodily injury throughout the movie. But he's actually he's a pretty decent, somewhat invaluable member to the team. I mean, he's the one that lets them know about the heist, and then about the fact that the Avengers are looking for Scott, and he also saves him during the main heist at the film when those two guards are shooting at him in that model and what have you, shooting at Scott when he's shrunken down in that model, among other things. And also, he's just a pretty all-around fun guy. I mean, when he goes into those long-winded speeches of his, I mean, that's just utterly hilarious, among other things. So, yeah, that's my number 6.
All right. Solid choice. All right, moving on. So going on to the top 5. And all right, and number 5 for me is Dr. John Watson from Sherlock Holmes. You know, I mean, yeah, but the character Sherlock Holmes, you know, he's been in, like, other than like Dracula and say Tarzan, you know, this is a character that's been in many different incarnations of movies, you know, throughout, like, since, you know, movies were first introduced. You know, definitely, you know, and of course, you know, one of the best things about, about this character, you know, this creation of Arthur Conan Doyle brought to the world was, you know, you had a equally wonderful character, you know, to play along opposite to him, you know, and that's, you know, you look no further than Dr. John Watson, you know, because according opposed to, you know, how brilliant Holmes is, you know, how emotionally detached he can be. He is like any other character. He's the more reasonable. He is kind of, you know, he is the one that grounds the character more. He has to put up for it. He really has to put up for Holmes, especially in the Robert Downey Jr. version. You know, he just is like, you know, where he has his various, you know, idiosyncrasies, you know, if you will. You know, he's just like he says to him, "You're completely mad." I mean, yeah. You know, true words were never spoken, I guess, you know, because, you know, yeah, as brilliant as Holmes is, I mean, he just tried to take it too far, and Dr. Watson is there to, you know, to ground them, to you know, to create some kind of stability, and that's one of the great aspects of their relationship, you know. I mean, yeah, not only they work well together, they do have polar, they have, you know, different personas that yet are so compatible, and then that's the hallmark of any great, you know, relationship between a hero and a sidekick, you know. And then, there are some complications, but you know, they managed to stick through together, and he managed to stand, and Watson managed to stand by Holmes, you know, and that's just why he is number 5 on my top movie sidekicks, you know. So that, yeah, because of what I just said, you know, the loyalty because of the great loyalty of the character, you know, without question. All right, so Dr. Watson is number 5 on my list. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
All right, my number 5 is Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes from the Iron Man series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, starting in Iron Man 1, he was just like that, kind of like that voice of reason for Tony's more outlandish designs. And you know, he even helped, you know, get his back when he was fighting against Ironmonger. Sorry. But starting in Iron Man 2 and then Iron Man 3, when he actually gets the War Machine out armor, Iron Patriot in the third one, he just takes on a much more support role, and you know, he shows that, yeah, he's a military guy, but he knows his way around weapons. He can blast out drones and bad guys with the best of them. And I mean, there is definitely no doubt that in Iron Man 2, Iron Man would not have won without Rhodey, and pretty much the same thing in Iron Man 3. Without Rhodey kind of being there in support, I don't think he could have made it. So it's definitely Rhodey all the way. Hope he doesn't die.
Me too.
Yeah, I hope so too. But
I'm looking at you, Civil War.
Yeah.
Right, I hope so too. But we're gonna say, we'll find out when Civil War comes out in a couple of weeks or so. Hopefully, he's definitely a great character. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, all right, Colton. What is number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Jarvis. When Jarvis, when it looked like Jarvis had died in Avengers: Age of Ultron, I was legitimately upset. I mean, this is a character he's just an artificially intelligent butler and what have you. But I mean, he really made an impression on me throughout the Iron Man films, and Iron Man and Avengers movies. I mean, he does a good job playing. Really plays well off of Tony and all that jazz. And the funny thing about it, though, is that from what I've read, up until he actually got to play Vision, Paul Bettany didn't exactly think much of his time voicing Jarvis and what have you. He's like, I just spent like about 45 minutes in a voice booth, and I make out like a bandit with all the money I have, but what have you. But in spite of that, though, he made Jarvis into a pretty likable character. He's able to, I guess, since he's artificial intelligence, he's able to easily put up with Tony's nonsense and what have you. But he also is able to show that he does care for Tony every now and then. Like when Tony looked like he was about to die, he suggested calling Pepper. Really, in the Avengers, when it looked like Tony was about to die, Jarvis suggests that trying to call Pepper before it happens and whatnot. And when Jarvis shut down in Iron Man 3, I really felt for the guy, especially when Tony said, "Don't leave me, buddy." He really did believe that there was kind of a connection between the two of them. And so I'm kind of sad that Jarvis has now become Vision, because that's pretty much altered their character dynamic. I think, since, well, now Jarvis, you're not going to hear Jarvis's voiceovers whenever Tony's in the suit and doing his thing. And also, in Iron Man 3, the way he took over Tony's entire Iron Man army and went into battle, that was probably one of my favorite moments in the franchise, especially when he just flies up to a bunch of extremist enhanced soldiers and he's like, "Gentlemen," and then he just takes them all out with a single attack and all that. So yeah, I know I kind of rambled on Jarvis, but yeah, I like him. He's my number 5.
Okay, all right, solid choice. Okay, all right, going on to number 5. Number 4. My number 4 for me is Doc Brown from the Back to the Future trilogy. Definitely, this is like I said, brilliantly played by Christopher Lloyd. I mean, definitely Dr. Emmett L. Brown. He's definitely one of the best, creations, in movie history. One of the best sidekicks, without question. Christopher Lloyd. He just brings his character to life. The madcap zaniness, the wackiness, the all-round, broadness of the character, definitely. I mean, yeah, he definitely is one of the best movie sidekicks without question. And like I said, with any good sidekick, he provides an anchor for the character in terms of reason. He definitely is that pillar of wisdom, for our character. Especially compared to Marty's rather, going rather, I wouldn't say flashy personality, but he does definitely have a broad personality to him. Doc Brown, despite how out there he is, he definitely he provides some wonderful advice to the character throughout the course of the 3 films, especially with 2 and with 3. He definitely dispenses some invaluable guidance to the character, when faced with making decisions and so forth and so on. Of course, we all remember Doc Brown for his, rather hilarious moments, especially, of course, when he meets Marty, when the 1985 Marty when Marty meets the 1955 Doc, of course, he goes up to us. I was like, "You're making a donation to the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary."
No. Do you know what this means, future boy? It means this damn thing doesn't work at all.
Tell me, future boy, who's president of the United States in 1985? So,
Ronald Reagan.
It's like Ronald Reagan. The actor. It's like, who's vice president? Jerry Lewis. I mean, yeah, we just want to remember Doc for moments like that. But the qualities, as I said, the Civil War first rapper broad personality, even more broader than Marty's. It's just like like I say, how he is an anchor for him. And his loyalty toward Marty is definitely one of the great, facets of the character without question. So definitely Doc Brown is number 4 on my list. So Mike, what is number 4 on your list?
All right, my number 4 is Louise from Ant-Man. I think Colton kind of summed it up fantastically. He's just like this great. He seems like he's going to be this cheesy, one note character, but he actually shows a lot of depth and a lot of layers to him. And despite how awesome those kind of like rambling, those long sections are that where he tells his stories, they do suggest he's a lot more cultured than he may let on, because he doesn't like those red lines, but he's got a nice rosé that's really nice, and he doesn't really like the paintings, but he's at this one kind that's really nice. So he's actually a very cultured individual. So which is surprising when you think about what he seems like at the start of the movie. He's actually a very different character when you get to the end, which is, I think, that's a testament to the writing of the character and how good Michael Pena acts him out. Plus, I just really hope they bring him back for the sequel.
I hope they do too. He definitely is one of the highlights of that movie.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without him.
It just seems about question. If somebody told me, then another person told me, it's incredible. It's just like, yeah, he definitely is great. Playing alongside Paul Rudd and all these other and Michael Douglas and all those other actors. So yeah, it would be a crime if they don't bring him back in the second.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Colton, what is number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list is Chewbacca. I mean, this is a character. Yeah. If Chewbacca was like a regular human being, he wouldn't nearly be as memorable. I mean, he's a giant walking carpet, but that's just the beauty of his character. I mean, every time he lets out some sort of roar, people lets out his growls, and people respond to it. It's just pretty humorous. Like when they're trying to escape, they have to go down the garbage chute, and Chewbacca's just yelling at Han, and Han's like, "I don't care what you smell, get down there, okay?" I mean, yeah, that's just hilarious, among other things. But I also love, Chewbacca's fierce loyalty to Han. When Han's about to get frozen in carbonite, Chewbacca goes berserk, starts throwing stormtroopers all around, and Han has to quickly calm him down. And when Lando lets Chewbacca out of his handcuffs, the first thing he does is grab Lando by the neck and start strangling him, because he's pretty pissed off about the whole betrayal thing. Mm-hmm. And of course, we know about what happens in The Force Awakens, but I won't spoil that for all 2 of the people in the world that haven't seen that movie.
Who hasn't seen it already? Oh
it's true what Han said. It is not wise to upset a Wookiee. I mean, yeah.
Nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
Yeah. Well, I think Chewbacca kind of worried though, because C-3PO was pretty upset. He's like, "I'm backwards. You incompetent mothball. Only someone like you would be stupid enough to." And then Chewbacca just shuts him off. But I also gotta give Chewie his props for actually wind up putting up with 3PO throughout the movie, and actually putting him back together, for putting him half back together, as opposed to just discarding him and leaving him behind and what have you. So yeah, number 4 on my list is Chewbacca.
Okay, all right, great. Awesome. Okay, all right, going on to number 3. Number 3 for me is the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow is definitely one of the best, in terms of movie characters. Definitely, and of course he's played wonderfully by Ray Bolger. Of course, I mean, he just won. Like he and the scenes he plays, he's in with Judy Garland and all the other cast members are definitely one of the true standouts in this whole movie. You know, I mean, essentially, especially with Dorothy when she meets him, he's kind of like a trickster and kind of make him around. You figure out, yeah, he really can't, doesn't know what he's doing because he doesn't have a brain. It's just, like, well, where they are, confirming with the father for our own pain. Yeah, you haven't seen The Wizard of Oz, what's wrong with you? And the Scarecrow is one of the reasons why, it is the great film it is. It's just like, the Scarecrow kind of has like a broad, the personality to him, the Dorothy. But one of the great things about Dorothy, it's just on her quest to find her way home. He's willing to stick with her through thick and thin, and he just shows a true, like any sidekick, he shows a real loyalty and encouragement to her, and is willing to protect Dorothy in moments of harm, without question. I mean, he's really the kind of character with his kind of personality. He's really the kind of character you really want to have alongside in a journey like that. So the Scarecrow for me, number 3 on my list. All right, Mike, what is number 3 on your list?
All right, my number 3 is Sam the Falcon Wilson.
Okay.
Because I mean, right from the beginning, on your left. I've said it a number of times on this show before, but just the chemistry between him and Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, I mean, they just play off each other so well because they're not. It's not like he's like whatever the Cap says, I'm doing it. It's just they are partners. I mean, he's a sidekick character, but they're partners. I mean, he respects Cap. That's why he's willing to go the extra mile for Cap. He's willing to stick by Cap's side because he respects him as a soldier. He thinks he is he respects him as a leader, and I don't think he blindly follows his lead, but if he thinks the plan it will work, then he'll do it. And I think that's a big, that's why I like him so much in these movies, because he is a friend to Captain America as well as a sidekick and a partner. So
I think it shows in the Civil War trailer also, because he actually says, "Cap, are you sure about this? Because people that shoot at you usually wind up shooting at me also."
Exactly.
All right, great choice there. All right, Colton. What is number 3 on your list?
Number 3 on my list is Jim the Waco Kid from Blazing Saddles.
Ooh, nice.
He is played to perfection by Gene Wilder. I mean, the Waco Kid is like, this entire town is filled with idiots, and then we have the Waco Kid. He was probably the only other sane person there aside from Sheriff Bart. But you can tell that just from the minute he starts speaking that he is like sick and tired of everybody's shit and what have you. And the way he recounts that story about how he got shot in the ass by a kid and all that jazz. I mean, that was just excellent. It's like a really great comedic performance by an actor that's like not really trying to an actor that's playing the character almost like completely deadpan and what have you. And he's also, of course, pretty badass at times. Like, he shoots all those people's guns out of their hands within seconds, and then he manages to make that one shot from a distance to set up the dynamite that starts blowing up the big town. And there's, of course, he's like, probably one of his funniest lines is when he shows the sheriff his hand. He's like, "Steady as a rock." "Yeah, but I shoot with this hand." And he still manages to snatch away that whatever they were, that
chess piece.
Yeah, the chess piece from the sheriff without even so much as moving a finger. That was pretty awesome. It's like an interesting case of a sidekick having he has a tragic backstory, but it also doesn't like overtly define his character. I guess you could say he's manages to be a fun guy as opposed to like a kind of a killjoy or whatever in this comedy and what have you. And he's a pretty good parody of the crack shots and crack shots and what have you that we've seen in westerns beforehand and in westerns today. So Waco Kid, number 3.
Right, yeah. I'm still not a fan of that movie. You know,
What?
Yeah, no.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's not a great movie. To me, it's just like, yeah. I mean,
Where's the Colton Eye is one of the funniest movies ever made.
Yes.
No, Frankenstein's funnier.
Oh, Monster like
I like them both, actually. I like them both equally.
Man, I haven't seen Young Frankenstein, I have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it. If it came down between Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles, I'd say Blazing Saddles I think is funnier.
I hate Spaceballs, too.
What do you want to do? I don't know. Play chess? Screw? Let's play chess.
I mean, I don't know if I hate Spaceballs, but, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's as good as people say. I mean, it's kind of it has its moments, but, you know.
Oh, Chris.
What? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a big Mel Brooks fan.
Let's move on.
Yeah, maybe I do kind of like him though, but you know, I don't know. But yeah, we just moving on to number 2 on our list. It is in 2 on the list. For me is Chewbacca from the Star Wars movies. You know, Chewbacca is definitely he's one of the defining examples of sidekick to me. Yeah, fiercely loyal to Han Solo, not only just to him, but to his other companions in these movies. And also, he's fiercely competent. You know, he's just definitely a badass, especially with that bowcaster. He's like, yeah, he's just pretty much, you know, he just has his great moments of comic relief. You know, definitely without question. And you just want to love the character, yes. And, you know, yeah, this big giant alien creature, you know, who like I said, all people of all ages, you know, definitely, you know, are so definitely drawn to this character. Like I said, and loyalty is definitely one of the great character traits about him. You know, definitely, you know, especially like I said, what Colton said in The Empire Strikes Back when Han's about to be frozen in carbonite. He's just like, yeah, it's just like he tells he will look out for Solo to the end, you know, definitely, and also to Luke also to Luke and Leia, definitely, you know, and of course, like I said, also like Nicole said, in that moment, Force Awakens, when he lets out that roar, you just, you can, yeah, it breaks your heart, definitely. It's definitely a heart-wrenching moment there, you know, definitely, but definitely.
You'll believe a Wookiee will make you cry. I said you will believe that a Wookiee will make you cry.
Absolutely. But like I said, this is a character you do not want to cross. He definitely is a badass in his own right. And I only have one piece of advice. You should make sure to make a Wookiee when you play a game of Wookiee. Make sure you let him win, or otherwise pull a arm out of your socket. All right. So Chewbacca is this character is number 2 on my list. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us number 2 on your list?
All right, my number 2 is
BB-8.
BB-8. Yeah, I mean when you had like a number of awesome, excellent characters in The Force Awakens. I mean, from the very first trailers, you saw the BB-8, and you like, he's gonna be a cute, but he's not gonna be a great character. And then you see the movie, and he's a great character. I mean, he is fiercely loyal to Poe. You know, and when he thinks that Poe is dead, there is genuine sadness there. I mean, he genuinely is heartbroken. You know, as much of a droid can be heartbroken. Because he's lost his best friend, essentially. But he's found like a new best friend in Rey, and you know, like then Rey's back and forth with him is great. And, you know, their little relationship, and then Finn's back and forth with him when he thinks he's stolen he stole Poe's jacket. And, stop shocking me. But I mean, just for a a droid that just makes little beeps and clicks, and like for you just introduce him in that movie, he instantly becomes endearing and beloved, and you want more BB-8, and that is definitely uh, you know it's definitely great for the filmmakers to have done that for us.
Yeah, I wasn't initially sold on them trying to make a new droid for this trilogy, but yeah, he's definitely won a lot of people over. You say, but yeah, it's just like.
Plus, when was the last time you saw a droid gives a thumbs up?
That moment had me cracking up. I mean, I did not see that coming, but it was just perfectly timed.
Definitely, it's just like, yeah, but he's probably more feisty, probably than R2-D2 is, probably.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best things about him, actually. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 2 of your list?
Number 2 on my list is Sergeant Alpal from Die Hard. Welcome to the party, pal. Okay, so I mean, I know that he pretty much stays out of the action until the end of the movie, but I think what I like about him is the fact that he's there to provide John with emotional support. He talks to them throughout the entire film and keeps him. I mean, considering all that John is going through, I think having someone to talk to was what helped him get through it. And it shows that's one of the core things with Sidekicks is that they're supposed to be there for the hero and what have you. And while he wasn't being badass and what have you, he did something that was just as more important: help the guy keep a level head. And of course, he does have this one badass moment at the end, though, when Hans's head henchman turns out to still be alive despite being hung for some reason, and then he's like pulls out his gun and takes him out. Especially after we heard his tragic backstory about how he accidentally shot a kid, so that was a pretty strong moment for the guy, And the funny thing about it is that when he showed up, he looked like he was just going to be, I don't know, your typical bumbling comedy relief. I mean, the way how he's like getting a bunch of goodies from a grocery store, and then he doesn't notice that any of the terrorists are around at the Nakatomi Plaza, and he decides to just go ahead and leave before John then starts shooting up his car to get his attention and what have you. But then after that, like I said, he becomes a pretty strong, emotional, supportive character to John afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't go wrong with Carl Winslow. Oh wait, different character.
Different character, still a cop.
Still a cop, right? Of course. All right. Going on to number one, the top pick of this whole topic, our favorite movie, Sidekicks. Number 1 for me is, of course, this is a duo, is Ron and Hermione from the Harry Potter movies. Yes, I love these two characters. You couldn't have better characters to have alongside Harry. A character as great as Harry Potter than these two. Ron Weasley, just not the sharpest wand in the toolbox, but he's definitely he definitely has some kind of a dry wit to him. But he's also loyal and courageous and dedicated and devoted to Harry, as well as Hermione, and she has an abundance of intelligence and wisdom. I mean, and what's great about these characters is it's just like they definitely are polar opposites. Definitely, and especially when they're arguing and bickering with each other, especially in the moments in the movies. Especially regarding Fluffy, whether he's guarding something, especially with the whole thing with Hermione's cat eat Scabbers and stuff like that. Of course, Scabbers turned out to be Peter Pettigrew. I mean, but you can't help but marvel at how Rupert Grint and Evan Watson play off these characters. They definitely were tailor-made to play those characters well. In question, they truly embody these characters' personalities as they are depicted in the book. I don't think characters Harry Potter. I don't think any other characters has had great. A character like Harry Potter has had dual sidekicks like this that are truly standouts. I mean, that's kind of a rarity, you know. And they like I said, they have their very distinct personalities, but you know, the great thing about the trio is that they work so well together. You know, a perfect compliment to Harry without question. So, Ron and Hermione take the top spot for me in terms of top movie sidekicks. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number one on your list?
All right, my number one, similar to my number two, but a bit more in a few more movies. It was R2-D2. I mean, when you want a supporting character, I mean R2-D2 from Phantom Menace. So however you think about those movies, he's been a supporting character for both Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then he was a supporting character for Luke, all the way through, and he ended up being the key to finding Luke. So, but I mean, he's been watching the whole time. I don't think his memory was ever actually erased. So he actually, although that does kind of make him out to be a bit of a jerk. It's like, hey Luke, I know your real parents are. I'm not going to tell you though.
Well, I mean, given the way he and 3PO interact, he kind of has been a jerk in their relationship most of the time. I think 3PO is right back, but
yeah, 3PO is not exactly the most easy one to get along with. But I mean, when it comes down to it, you can always rely on R2-D2. He saved all of their butts on more than one occasion. He was there as like kind of the moral support and like the emotional support for Luke on Dagobah after Yoda died. He was there, ready to listen to him before Ben showed up, and he's always just been there as either support or to help, or just to be an ear to help for someone to talk to. Despite the fact that he just beeps and whirs in reply, most of them seem to at least get the gist of what he's saying. So he's always been one of my favorite characters from the trilogy, from all of the Star Wars movies. He doesn't have the flash of of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, but he is always there for them.
Right.
So that's why my number one is R2-D2.
Right. I mean, beyond that, solid choice. Great choice. Without question. All right, Cole, why don't you give us number one on your list?
Number one on my list is also a duo, and it's R2-D2 and C-3PO. And I couldn't separate these two. I mean, they're a package deal, I mean, they are probably one of the best comedy relief duos ever. I mean, like first we have R2, and it looks like when we see R2 at first, it looks like he's gonna be, the cute kid appeal character. But then we realize that R2 has a bit of an attitude, actually. Like when 3PO is like, "What are you talking about?" and then R2 beeps at him, and 3PO is like, "Don't you call me a mindless philosopher, you overweight flop of grease." And then when they're on the Falcon and R2 is trying to fix 3PO, he accidentally shocks 3PO when he's trying to fix him, and 3PO is like, "Pay attention to what you're doing." And then R2 just straight up leaves him to go fix the hyperdrive, and 3PO is like, "R2-D2, you come back here at once. You haven't finished with me yet. You don't know how to fix the hyperdrive. You Bobby can do it. I'm standing here in pieces, and you're having delusions of grandeur." Yeah, you can tell I've seen this movie one too many times, but yeah,
there is never any such thing as too many times of Star Wars. All right.
Exactly.
Right, you're
right. What people say.
Yeah, that scene right there never fails to crack me up. But yeah, you're like you said that R2, despite R2 having a bit of an attitude problem, he is still a good guy when it counts. Though I mean, he and Luke have a pretty good friendship, and he was there for Luke on Dagobah, like you said. Gave Luke somebody to talk to while he was trying to figure out where the hell Yoda was, and yeah. And it's too bad that R2 couldn't talk, or he probably would have said, "Luke, this is Yoda. He's right in front of you. He's trolling you."
I met him a long time ago. Don't worry.
Yeah. And One of my favorite moments from R2 actually is when R2 falls into the swamp, and as he's trying to figure out where to go, Luke is like, R2, that way. And then R2 actually makes a few beeps that almost sounds like he's saying, oh, thank you. And I also like 3PO because, I mean, and also, one thing I love about 3PO also is that even though he's kind of annoying, it's like a good kind of annoying, I guess you could say, where it's like, where he in the hands of another actor or whatever, his lines easily could have gotten on your nerves, but there's just something about it that it just feels natural to 3PO's character and everything, like, and he does, like, come in handy every now and then throughout the franchise. I mean, he's kind of useless in Empire Strikes Back since he doesn't have much to interpret for, but, Return of the Jedi, and especially Return of the Jedi, when he manages to get the entire Ewoks to agree to fight to the death with the Empire and what have you. That was he told them the story of, summed up A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back for them in a pretty compelling way to get them to say, you know what, the Empire's pretty bad, let's fight these guys and what have you, among other things. Let's see here, what else. And despite how weird it was that Anakin made him when he was 9, I was still glad to see him in The Phantom Menace and see him and R2 still had their good old familiar dynamic and whatnot. Like, what do you mean naked? My parts are showing? My goodness. It's also funny how 3PO has the first line in the original trilogy and it has the final lines in the prequel trilogy, and both of them are lines of distress or what have you. It's like, well, it's more of a, well, kind of. And A New Hope, he's like talking about how they shut down the main reactor. Then his last lines and Revenge of the Sith are, oh no, when he finds out he has to have his mind wiped. And, you know, I'm still hoping that they reveal maybe that they had 3PO's old memory on backup or whatever, and that they gave it back to him after Return of the Jedi, because it's kind of depressing knowing that his entire history was erased because they couldn't risk him, I don't know, spilling the beans or whatever, because continuity, I don't know.
Because of the Force.
Yeah, R2-D2 and C-3PO, probably my favorite pair of favorite pair of sidekicks ever. And I'm really glad that they came back for The Force Awakens, especially 3PO. I mean, when he showed up, he's like, Han Solo, and he's like, I'm like, oh, 3PO, you haven't changed a bit, have you? You know, the funny thing about 3PO is that apparently before Jar Jar Binks and before the Ewoks, George Lucas said that 3PO was the most hated character in the franchise. And I'm thinking, how can people hate 3PO? I mean, seriously.
Well, he's a bit irritating at times.
Yeah, he can be a little irritating, but I mean, it's the kind of irritating where he still, like, helps out and everything, so it's not like he's useless and the other characters don't put up with his crap or anything like that. Like, they'll, like, tell him repeatedly to shut up and what have you, and how they actually shut him down, like, twice in Empire Strikes Back and whatnot. So it's like, it's not like George was trying to, like, force George and company were trying to, like, trying to force the character on us or anything like that. They knew how to, like, balance him out so that he wouldn't get overbearing or whatever.
Shut him up or shut him down.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he gets told to shut up at least once. He is told to shut up at least once in each movie in the original trilogy, maybe. Like Uncle Owen tells him to shut up in A New Hope. Han tells him to shut up, and Han and Leia told him to shut up, and actually all Han, Leia, and Chewie told him to shut up during Empire Strikes Back. And
that's right.
I can't remember who tells him to shut up in Return of the Jedi, but I'm pretty sure he does get told that, nevertheless.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. He runs his mouth a little too. Yeah. He's perfectly autonomous in extreme circumstances. He probably be racist enough. Actually, no. Come on.
Never tell me the odds.
2,720 to 1. And he's like, but sir, the chances of successfully engaging a Star Destroyer, Leia. Shut up!
Yeah. He's the butt of many jokes. Yeah, wow. Oh my goodness.
And even though his entire comedy subplot and even though his entire comedy bit in Attack of the Clones was unnecessary, it was still hilarious. However, like when he accidentally got attached to a battle droid, he's like, "What's going on? Oh, a battle! There's been a terrible mistake. I'm programmed for etiquette, not destruction."
Oh man, yeah. Wow.
And it's nice that Anthony Daniels keeps coming back to voice some 3PO. I think he's like one of the few actors in the series that actually has been involved with multiple projects outside of the original trilogy. Like he's come back for the Clone Wars series. He was also there for I think Rebels, maybe or not Rebels. Clone
No,
Wars.
he was in a couple episodes of Rebels.
Oh, okay. So it's nice to have him around and what have you, especially when they could have easily just replaced him with someone that was probably cheaper to hire and whatnot. I guess you could say.
All right. Okay, all right, great choice, Colton. Great choices. They were great works from everybody. I mean, actually, this is definitely a great show to do. All right, folks, that will do it for this episode of Nurse Nice One and doing our top 10 favorite movie sidekicks. Like I said, DC TV recap show. We're definitely gonna do that. I know it's probably gonna be on. It's gonna be on Fridays or even Saturdays. What you're gonna do that? Of course, Flash and Arrow both return next week, so hopefully we'll look out for that. And also our episode next week, next Monday, is top 10 voice performances in animated movies. So make sure you can check out for that. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us, and I thank the people, for joining me on this. Mike, like I said, it's always great to have you on the show.
Oh, it's always great to be here, and I love talking with you and love talking with Colton. And until next time.
Hey, you watch your language, R2.
And also Colton, who's also gracious enough to join me. Colton is, like I said, great having you on the show.
I was happy to be here. I'm really looking forward to next week. I've already got a list forming in my mind as we speak.
All right, definitely. This is going to be an interesting topic about question. Like I said, check out next week, top 10 voice performances in animated movies. Thank you. This is CM Miller. It's great hosting the show. Make sure you check out next week on our show, top 10 voice performances in animated movies. Until next time, fellow nerds. Goodbye.
See ya.